Was insane. Welcome back. I'd like to share with you three very interesting games that I played. The first one I played as White. So here I was taking a much deserved break and I'm playing an unrated game. So it put me against a 1571. And I thought to myself, okay, let me just see how my tactics are looking that day. As I didn't feel like playing with the stress of losing rating. So I'm playing my usual, the Jubava. And again, the Fear and Kettle, the light square. So my moving my knight out this way what was my thought process here? It was to allow the bishop to take on g2, and I would attack it and take back on g7. And that's exactly what happened. Well, not quite. Yes, and then I blundered a piece, of course. It doesn't work if you don't blunder a piece. But Eric Rosen said, you didn't blunder a piece, it's a gambit. So mine's, what's this? Knight Gambit. Knight Gambit / Jobava. Anyway, so we continue, put our head down, and I think at that point I was already feeling justified as to why I wasn't playing. So I continue making threats. So I've taken a few pawns, and my opponent's just up, a pawn, but I still blundered the whole piece. Anyway, so I continue causing trouble, and I was eyeing the rook in the corner, but then I realized, no, I can't take. So when my opponent took, so now I can't castle. I did think of castling, but didn't end up happening. So here I stopped paying attention when I made this move up. In my mind, I can still see the rook. So when they made this move, I was thinking, okay, surely I should be getting something. And then I realized, oh, the rook's closed in. So I swing mine across their castle, and I'm thinking how to infiltrate, because those two knights are just a problem. They protect each other. So I figured, you know what, let's cause trouble where the king is. I did think of swinging my rook across to b1, but it didn't seem viable because I didn't see any follow-up. So I pushed, just trying to open where the king is. They check. I move up because I didn't want them to follow up with another check on c3. So I came across. I protected. He checked. I thought I could take, but the queen protects. So I protect, exchange, and my advantage is really not showing because I don't have one. At this point I'm still down 2 pieces of material. I'm down on the clock, and by literally 3 minutes at this point, and we're only on move 27. And so I decided to cause trouble. I'm pushing, and I took his pawn, he took my pawn, and I took a piece. So finally, after my knight gambit on move, what was it, 5, 6? I can't remember. I'll write it down so that you can see. I got back the piece. So I'm thinking, okay, now this is looking good, but I'm also down the clock. You can't gain that back. So I'm trying to push and connect, but also watch his past pawns as well. So as I go on, I played this move because I was getting kind of desperate, and I got 21 seconds, and there's just way too many moves to make. So he pushes, I check, he moves, and I made this move, and this is not increment. I played 10 minutes only. I don't do increments. I don't like them. But maybe I might consider it, a 10-5 maybe, as the rating gets higher now since I've crossed the 1500. So I do the check, and eventually, so after this move, I was tired and got to move 50, and as you can see, the game's over. So it is what it is. But it was a great game. It kind of showed me that my tactics were there. So I opted to play another game. So let me share that game with you. Okay, so this is game 2, and I'm played as black. As you can see, I'm playing a 17-11. Again, going with the same team. I'm not stressing. I just want to play a game of chess just to ensure I play daily as best I can. And so I'm playing a 17-11. So already I'm panicking. And I played the good old Caro-Kann because, I trust it. So far, everything is basic, getting rid of that knight. So he's got a bishop pair. And I have the dark square bishop, which I think is more valuable in the way I set up my Caro-Kann. So at this point, my opponent blunders a pawn. I took, and I'm thinking, oh, what kind of 17-11 is this? So only after did I check his account, and it's quite new. So he did set up sometime this year. Ideally, I wouldn't have played him, but there's no rating to be lost in this game, so why not? So that bishop move is a weird move. I don't know what it does. But, as you can see, with my pawn fortress here, everything is well protected. So at this point, I think I'm just going to move to analysis tab to show the same game. So from this bishop move, then we'll move to that, and then I can show you the other nuances of the position that I... Okay, so we continue on from where we were. Still the same game. So I attack the queen. I see a queen, I attack the queen. Pretty primitive thinking, actually. So he attacked back, but my queen, my knight, I can't speak. My knight's protected, but I'm moving to safety anyway because I never like protecting with the queen, because if the queen's attacked, you tend to move the queen and your piece is no longer, taken care of. So I decided to open the file, and in this case, I don't usually like taking, but there was an option. So I protect that, I don't want him to come into g6 with this queen. He took, I took back. So as you can see, with the thread arrows, that's where I'm aiming to go. My pieces are looking at each other, and this is a miss for him. I don't know what he could have done, but that's not my issue. And this is a blunder because, yes, it is. This was where the brilliance started. So bear in mind, I'm playing a 17-11. So I see this move and I'm thinking, my queen's stuck. And literally my queen is stuck. I have no means of saving my queen. Well, not no means, but there's a way. And the only move was this one. It was the best move. Because it says, you take my queen, I take your queen. So he protects, which was a great move. Because it wasn't the best move, but it was a great move. And at this point, I'm thinking, oh, what do I do? So I opt to lose a piece, because with a check, he takes, I take, and we're back to where we were. So I attack his queen again. Danger levels. So yeah, most YouTubers say this, chess YouTubers, and just because something is attacked doesn't mean you move it. If you can attack something, as long as you don't ensure you're not double attacked yourself, I'm fine. So I attack his queen. It is an inaccuracy. And yeah, so he opts to trade queens, and fair enough, fair to him, because he's up a piece. So, and I chose this because queens are always dangerous, especially when you're down material. So I'm just trying to figure out what I do next. So I step back. I like the fact that that pawn is pinned. It's just causing him trouble, and I decide to keep it. So I decide to work on my open diagonal. Not open lane. Oh my goodness, what's going on to that? Anyway, so open file, the H file, yes. And so I attack back, This is a blunder. Again, my bishop has been eyeing the same pawn the whole game, pretty much. And once I set it up, I haven't moved from the diagonal. So I get a piece back because he can't take, because you can't put the king in check. So check, he moves, I take another pawn, he attacks my bishop. I did think of going back with check, but this was more with discovery tactics. And so, but he moved it immediately. So I protect and attack at the same time, and he let me. So I didn't pay attention. I didn't calculate what he was trying to do. In my mind, I'm thinking, what? So I took the pawn, he checked me, and I'm like, oh, didn't see that. So I could have moved back, as you see the game wants me to move back, but I decided to step back with the king, dropping another pawn and him attacking another pawn. And I offered a trade, like let's trade, or I look at that piece, and essentially to be checkmate, I think, or there'll be forcing moves, we're walking into a mating net. So he opted for the trade, which I was very happy with. And in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm winning, yeah. I'm absolutely winning. So I check the king to move the king. My idea was simple: clear that side and go for it. So the reason why I didn't take is, if I took, so let's say I'd done that, it allows him to come in like this, and it's very difficult to protect those two pawns when they're next to each other, when they're on top of each other like that. So doubled pawns are very difficult to protect, especially pawns on the edge of the board. So I decided to push my advantage. If you takes, that's the only way you can make progress with that pawn, is I can easily capture. So we did both play some inaccuracies here, which was pretty exciting. So I push, and what did we do here? He attacked, I just moved out the way, and I'm continuing to push. So he should have gone behind my, I don't know why he never, because I was thinking I moved my rook up, I had my gymnastics all sorted, but for some reason he opted to play this move, and I was like, perfect, check, skewer time, and take with the rook. And I went back behind my pawn, and I was just going to push, and I promoted. And at this point my opponent resigned, which gave me a very, very good feeling, because I just beat a 1700, but unfortunately it doesn't count because it wasn't a rated game. So what does it make me do? It made me come back home, and okay, so now this is a rated match, played on the 2nd of July, as you can see from our top up there. And I'm playing as white, so I'm playing the Jobava, and they allow me to do the pawn storm. So ideally I would take that pawn on d5, but I didn't take it because it didn't allow me to do what I wanted it to do. So because my setup is not ready, so even pinning and everything, it wasn't what I was thinking. So my idea was a pawn storm, and I didn't finish it. So my idea was a pawn storm, but I didn't finish it. As you can see from this position, I'm supposed to push and kick the knight away, but I forgot. I got greedy, and when he took, I was shocked. In my mind I was thinking, how can you do that? That is impossible. That's not a move you can make. And now I'm just eyeing this ugly position of an incomplete, unprotected Jobava London. So I was pretty annoyed. I'm thinking to myself, look, I've been talking myself out of playing a game all day, and I get home and I'm supposed to relax, have a good evening, and I played the worst game of my life because of what I just did. So my opponent blundered here. I don't know why though. It says, let's see the moves. I took. Oh yes, I did calculate this, and then I take the check, and then I take the queen back. Yes, I did not see this in the game. In my mind, when he played this, I was just thinking, no, I don't like that. Eventually, I'm not gaining what I want. I was didn't see how I'd capture that pawn. I didn't see that check with the king. So I did this instead, pinning, and he took my pawn, moved my king, and this could have been very bad if it wasn't for this knight jam, because you'd have come in there and that's checkmate. That would have been a very, very short, very annoying evening. But anyway, we trade queens. So, and at this instance, I don't really like my chances because he's got two passed pawns and they're very close, and you can see that they're on the 4th rank. So he's threatening quite a lot, and I like the fact that my knight is looking at one of them. So kind of made me feel a bit calm. So that's why I opted for this trade. Let's get the bishops off, and knight and rooks, we can work with that. So I do this, and I don't know what you're so fixated at collecting or putting his rook on the 7th. You have to put your rooks on the 7th and 2nd rank. They're godlike rooks. Yes, they are, but you have to have a plan. So I go for the trades because that's one less pawn to worry about. He doubles, and I'm like, come at me. That's the problem with rooks. They don't do anything on the diagonal, so they are a liability. Anyway, he threatens. I protect and attack at the same time. I'm thinking he's gonna get behind his pawn. He decides not to, for some reason. So I took the pawn, and he plays this move, which I don't know what it does. Anyway, so I played this, threatening to win a rook according to the computer. Let's see how. Oh, so it actually went exactly how the game went. So there's no point in me doing that. So from here, I did push. Great move, as you can see. He went up this way. So I took, he took, and I'm willing to trade a pair of rooks because I've got 3 connected, unmoved pawns. And I'm thinking I can protect that. So my whole thing, I'm looking at this game and thinking, okay, avoid forks, don't get forked, right? So my first choice was to avoid checkmate, as opposed to me thinking what I usually say, danger levels. But this would have been just a trade though. So I moved my rook back, and he did this, and I missed the fork. There was a fork right here, and I missed him. This is what I needed to play. But anyway, so I'm moving my king. I'm calculating, trying to ensure that I don't get forked, because that would just be a very bad evening. So with him moving his rook up there, I was a bit worried. So I'm keeping my rook and my king as far as possible, trying to ensure that there is no fork, because I don't want to do anything to do with that. So he moved this way. I was like, you know what, let me hide my king. So with that check, you see if my rook had been there. So this is a great move. Apparently it's the only move for my king. And in my mind, I'm thinking the two are far away from each other, and let's see how we can get rid of those pawns, and I move to start promoting. So he plays this move, and I decide to go for a check. And I didn't want to double my pawns there, or to have any, wouldn't have doubled it. I had to take with the king. But anyway, so I decided to fork, getting rid. So now I've got the advantage. I'm winning, and I'm excited again. I love chess again. So I opponent blundered. So the reason why I played this move is I'm keeping the king away from that side of the board. So his king cannot help. He can only move with his rook. So I step away, and I don't know why I thought I had to move my rook there. But anyway, I did. Also, I was running low on time. Yes. So if I switch back, Let me show you. I was actually running low on time as we play the final few moves here. So from here, so I'm running low on time, and I opt to again keep the king on from away from this side of the board. He pushes. I took, and he played this move, and I moved my king up, my pawn up, not my king up. So my king is ready to step over, and so he can't offer me any checks. He can't give me any checks because it's too slow. So I check him instead, ensuring he's in a worse off position. So his king and rook, they're not connected, then they can't help each other. So I push, I take. So now he's got no pawns, and he went across, and I played this move. So bear in mind, look, I've got 55 seconds. My opponent's got 3 minutes 51 seconds. So I'm low on time and I'm panicking, but I'm winning. So I played this move. The moment I moved, I realized my pawn's hanging, and my opponent doesn't see it, and they played this move. So here I'm also trying to think, but I'm low on time, and my opponent resigned. And funny enough, I only saw that the rook was hanging after my opponent resigned, because he resigned. I'm thinking, what's the story? Only for me to realize that the king can take, and that's the end of the game. So, and at this point it was just been promoting, and our ladder made him. So yeah, that was the game. Thank you all for tuning in. This one's going to take a while to edit, but please do like, subscribe, and I'll keep sharing as I play. Thanks again, and have a good one.